Good evening. This is Uncle Yab, and you got me with Yab again. I got my co-host here, Richard Carrington. How you doing, Rich?
Doing great.
Okay. Guess what month is it today? Guess what month it is?
We're in Black History Month.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
Black History Month. And you know what, Rich? I've been thinking. It seemed like, in years past, they've been putting emphasis on Black history, but lately, the past couple of years, nothing has been said about that. What do you think is going on? Are they trying to take Black history away from us?
I'm not sure, man. You know, that's a really great observation you made, because I've been feeling the kind of the same way too, but I didn't say it out loud. You know, I was just like looking around and wondering what people, were things happening. But it seems like, the schools were always doing stuff. The jobs had stuff for you.
Right.
They kind of recognized. And I don't know. I mean, is that something else we can lay at the feet of Trump, or,
You know what? I'm not going to give this to him. I'm not going to put this on him. But I will say, Rich, that as a kid growing up, we always had Black history.
Yes.
When I was in school, I had what you call Afro-American history class.
Yes.
And we learned about everything about the slaves and the different type of Black inventors and stuff like that. And I got a kick out of that, because you really don't know what our people have done until you research it.
Absolutely.
Like, say, for instance, a guy, Gary Morgan, he invented the traffic light.
Yes.
And I know you know some other people as well.
Right, yeah. There's a lot of inventions, man, down to the super soaker, that
That's
they
true.
play with
That's
outside.
true. You're right.
But, and that's, it's incredible, because, we live in this country, and, as people of color, Black and brown, we've gone through so much, but especially Black folks have gone through a lot. And we've made so many contributions. And it seems like, we never really get the full acknowledgement of those contributions, or we never really get the full credit.
Right. Right.
And like you said, it's there's less and less conversation, and I think it's important that kids, especially nowadays, need to know.
Oh yeah.
Really where they came from, and knowledge of themselves.
That's right, and also know that we as a people were definitely smart.
Yes.
We were intelligent. And we were good with our hands. We were engineers, and we did a lot of different things with the computers and stuff like that.
Yes.
And we played a big contribution to society.
Yes.
So for all you podcast listeners that are young and don't know, pick up a history book. Do a YouTube thing or Google inventions from Black people. You'll see a lot of different things. That's the truth. It's not a lie. You got a lot of documentation out there to let you guys know that we were definitely a part of this society.
Yeah. And, man, I think it's important, you served in, the military, and there's many of our Black brothers and sisters that have fought for this country from the beginning. Mm-hmm. And I think that you guys often don't get recognized as much as you should, And, I could take this time to, again, thank you for your service,
Yeah, appreciate it. Well, you're welcome, man.
Because, man, you put your life on the line no matter what anyone knows or thinks, when you sign up, that you're signing up saying, I'm going to fight, and if it's to the death, it's to the death, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I did 20 years of blood, sweat, and tears, man.
Yes, man.
And we talked about this before.
Yeah.
Something that I did as 23 years old.
Okay.
And 20 years later, I was 43. I retired, man. I was married and had a couple kids, but that was something that I took upon myself and did it, and completed it. And I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it, man. And there's nothing wrong with being in the military. A lot of people shun the military now.
Yeah.
But the military is definitely a good way that a young individual can get an education, get to see the world, and make a little money.
Right. And, because our kids, what they're doing is they're going off to these colleges, and they're getting all this debt, and then they can't find jobs when they get out, and they're saddled with all this debt. Yep. But when you think about it, the military still is a great option. You go in and, you serve, and like you said, as far as school and all that, if, they want to go to college, that's one thing. But if they want to pick up a trade, see, that's what we have to start telling these kids too.
That's true.
What we do is we say, you got to go to college, and you got to, do this, and then, you turn around, and then, the kids got $100,000 in debt. They can't find a job, and then when they do find a job, they're working at Starbucks.
Yeah.
Where they could have gone and got a trade, they wouldn't have been saddled with that debt, and I work with this my brother's keeper in Cambridge, and you know,
Okay.
we help young people, you know, with jobs and stuff like that.
Right.
And you know, these kids are, you know, if a good, you know, apprentice program, they're making good money when they get out. You know.
Yeah, and there's
I mean,
nothing
good
wrong with
money,
that.
and it's honest, and you know, there's honor in working with your hands too.
Yes,
you know what I'm
yes.
saying, man?
And
You
it-
got to
and it-
be able to build and stuff. You
You're
know?
right,
I
because-
wish I could, you know.
Yeah, you're right.
You
And a
know,
lot of that stuff
trying
is
to
not
sheet
going
rock
away.
the wall, and
yeah.
I'm, you know, I got it twisted and it ain't level
Yep.
and everything.
Oh,
I
yeah.
wish I had learned those trades. You know,
Mhm.
man.
And it's still out there, but like you said, it takes a person that, you know, working with your hands is satisfying.
Yes.
Because in the end result, you see what you've done,
Yep.
and you're like, man, I paint this house,
Yeah.
or I built this wall,
right.
so on and so forth,
Right.
and it's definitely a good feeling.
Whether it's plumbing or whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
welding, a lot of that
Yeah.
stuff won't go away because
Right.
you can't. Computers and all that type of stuff can't do
Right.
that type of thing.
Right.
And do it efficiently. You still gonna need the manpower.
Yeah,
you're gonna need
absolutely.
that manpower.
Absolutely.
And you know, that stuff is still around. And then also, if you want to do something on the side,
Right.
that'd be a good
Right.
thing for you to do to make some good money that way too.
Absolutely, man. So
know,
I mean, that's the thing. I know we're telling our kids, and we do want them to get education, but we want them to be productive, to
Mm-hmm.
be happy, to be fulfilled. Because you know, college ain't for everybody.
That's true.
You know,
That's
and,
true.
And I think that what we did was in the past we told the kids, "Got to go to college, got to go to college, got to
Mm-hmm.
go to college," and we just said, "Forget trade school like it was beneath them or something." And,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
It you know,
It's
we're
not.
finding out now. You know that you at the end of the day, you know, when you need something done, you got to call someone.
That's right. And then you got to pay them.
Yes.
And if you know different things, that's one less thing you have to worry about. Because if you know a trade, how to sheetrock or how to do HVAC, AC, and or heating and plumbing and stuff like that, that's one thing you can do and save your money.
Yes.
You know, because if not, you have to call somebody in. And trust me, somebody that's an electrician or a licensed plumber, they're going to charge you $200-300 before they even touch anything.
Right.
Because that's just
Yeah.
the way it is.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of times, if you don't know what you're doing with that type of stuff, man, you may cause a fire in your house or
Yeah.
everything, and then
Exactly.
they're not going to touch nothing.
Yeah.
So you gotta sink or swim when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Especially when you got your own house.
Exactly.
You know, you gotta know what you're doing and find a way to do it at a cheaper cost if you don't have the money like that.
Right.
And a lot of us don't. But
Yeah.
you know, hey, that's why we do what we do.
Exactly, man. You know, so I think that's important that we mention that in Black History Month to let kids know that you don't absolutely have to go to college, you know,
Right.
but you get a trade.
Exactly.
You know?
And then, you know, like you said, I never understood that. A person trying to better themselves by going to college, then you get out of college after 4 years in debt.
Right.
That's something I don't think that should happen.
Right.
I think, you know, you should get that knowledge, go out and get a job and start on your way. Not have
Right.
to worry about, oh, geez, I got to get a job because I owe these people.
Yep.
That's kind of weird to me because I think nowadays some states, if you go to a community college, it's free.
Yes.
I think some states like
Yes.
Georgia and places
Yeah.
like that. So I think that should be all over.
Yeah, and Massachusetts is working on something like that
Mm-hmm.
where the tuition is free for state schools for some. If you in certain areas and whatever communities you've grown up in,
Right.
they have some programs. But you're right, man. What's the sense of going to school and and you saddle with $100,000 worth of debt? you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And you're coming out and you can't do anything because you got to spend the next 10 years paying it back.
You're right, and
know?
it's crazy. I mean, people want to be nurses and doctors and stuff like that, but once again, that comes with a price. They
Yeah.
come out of school in debt,
Yeah.
and I think that's what you call working backwards.
Yeah.
So that's something that, as far as the new President Biden and Ms. Kamala, they should look at something like that and say, hey, what can we do to reverse that?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's the forefront of things, but that's something that is on my mind.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
And I would like to put out there and say, hey, let's try to, if you're going to do something with reform and school reform and college tuition and stuff like that, see if you can cut it all together.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Well, they talked about forgiving some of the loans and stuff. So that was one of their big things, to help people with the student loans because they know, they've seen the effects of what has happened,
Right.
But, this is like, there's a lot of things that, when you start in Black History Month, man, that we're talking about, you start thinking about, how it affects every area of life. For example, like I was looking at this whole football situation with Deshaun Watson.
Right.
So he's going to be, he doesn't want to play in Houston anymore.
Right.
He had talked to the owners, and the owners had said that they were going to interview this black coach and just give him a shot.
Right.
And then what happened was, I guess they said no, they didn't interview him, and he got really upset because they promised him that he would do it.
Right. And they also, and they promised him that he would be involved.
Right.
And he was taken back by that because, if that happened, they lied to him.
Right.
And that guy is a franchise quarterback,
Right.
a good quarterback, a good athlete, and all he wanted to do was be involved because a lot of things down in Houston that they were doing things that were going backwards. They got rid of his star receiver.
Right.
So how you gonna do good or make plays or be a contender? You don't have nobody to throw to.
Right.
But time and time again, this guy was throwing for 4,000 yards, this and that, and then you take away his players, you pretty much handcuffing the guy.
Yeah.
So people get tired of that. I mean, you can love football and stuff like that, but then if you ain't doing nothing in the 3 years that you're playing, now it's time for changes.
Yeah. And he stood up for himself.
And that's
see,
good.
What happens a lot of times too, as black men, when we stand up for ourselves, people get threatened.
That's true.
So now they're trying to muddy his name up a little bit when all along they've been saying he's a great guy. And this is part of like when we talk about our history and understanding where we came from and what we had to overcome and the challenges, and when we stood our ground, how it was meant as it was perceived as us being threatening or whatever.
Right.
And I heard even so now he's saying I'm not playing for you guys anymore. And people are saying, well, hey, shouldn't he be happy? He's making all that money. He should just shut up and do what he's supposed to do. But he's still a man.
Exactly. And that's not the point of making the money. And what you just said goes back to that old just sit down and do your job and shut up and put your head down.
Right.
No, as a man, as a black man, I have an opinion.
That's right.
And I'm going to speak my mind, especially if you guys depending on me.
Right.
Don't just, so now you're using me.
Right.
Listen to what I'm saying. Get my feedback.
Right.
And if not, I'm going to take my talents elsewhere.
Yeah.
Because that's what he's doing.
Right.
And a lot of times, they got that old Good Boy Network out here in Texas and stuff like that. But they need to realize, without him, they're not going nowhere.
Right. And yeah, man, and that's the thing, man. We have to be able to be honest. And I heard Brett Favre telling him basically take his money and play and deal with it. Brett Favre had
Rich, what happened with that? What did he say? Because I heard somebody saying that his racial crap came out a little bit.
Yeah, it did. It came out.
I didn't hear it.
That Mississippi came out of it.
Oh yeah.
And he basically was telling them to shut up and play. You're getting all that money. You should be grateful.
No,
that's basically what he said. But Brett Favre is a trip because he was the one that was holding his team up. When he kept saying, I'm going to retire, or if you don't do this, or if you don't get Randy
coming
Moss,
back and forth and stuff like that.
He did that for years, and then now a young brother steps up and
doing
says
the same thing, basically.
And then he's got a problem with it. Nah. And, also, man, I was coming in earlier, and I heard a coach say, if you want to make decisions, get your own team. And, that sounds cute, but, it's got to be... football this year has kind of disappointed me a little bit, man.
Because
I'm starting to see some of the racism that I guess I was overlooking. Man,
yeah. Because
I guess I just looked past it, but I'm starting to see that there's a lot of racism.
Oh yeah, and they got a lot of problems, man. Yeah. Especially, and I didn't even think that team was like that. But as time went on, and they fired the coach, and I look at him too, and you ask me, it's no need for that type of stuff, man. There's no room for that type of bigotry and hatred. Everybody need to play together. You need black athletes as well as white athletes to come together, and that's what a team is all about.
Exactly.
Not we're going to use the black guy to go to the Super Bowl and then say the hell with him.
Right.
You know what I mean? If he the best thing on the field, you treat him as such.
Right.
If it's a white guy that's good on the team, you treat him as such too. Right. But what you want to do, you want to have unity.
Yes.
And nobody's going to go anywhere. Nobody's going to win no Super Bowls without unity.
No.
Just like what they're doing up here in Kansas City.
Yeah.
They have unity.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that, you're stuck in the mud, regardless of what these other people say or these former football players say or whatever. It's time for a change in that crap.
Yeah, it
just
really
like
is.
the black coaches out here. They have a lot of black coaches that are good candidates.
Right.
And well, if you ask me, the guy they hired down in Houston, he looked. I don't know. I shouldn't say this, but he looked white. But is he black?
They say he is.
Yeah, kind of sketchy to me.
Yeah.
But whatever. That's just my opinion. But if he is black or whatever the case may be, they need to listen to this young black quarterback, this black athlete, and say, hey, this guy has a point. He's been busting his behind now here for the time since he got out of college. So we took away all his players.
Right.
How is he going to play?
Right.
In the long run, in the grand scheme of things, they want to go to a Super Bowl.
Right.
They're not going to go without no players.
Right.
And then what if he gets hurt? Then you're going to say, oh, he's injury prone, he's this,
Right,
he's that.
right.
Give him a team and surround him with some good players and then go from there. It ain't all about black or white.
Right.
It's about unity.
Exactly, man. And that's really what, that's really what it's about, man, And like I said, this year I've really it's opened my eyes because I played football in high school, some in college,
Of
man.
course, of course.
And I played on teams where dudes were racist too.
Mm-hmm.
But we still came together as a team. And
Yeah.
we put the team before everything else.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And I've seen it in the military.
Yeah.
Racist stuff, but
Yeah.
we try to put what we got to do before that type of
Exactly.
thing, because in
Exactly.
the military you had guys from all walks of life,
Right.
And you had some guys never even seen black folks till they came
Right.
into the military,
Right.
And what they heard on TV,
Right.
So that was crazy to me,
Right.
because I'm like, wow, where you guys been? You've been sheltered. But that goes to show you get all these different characteristics or all these people and on one ship.
Right.
You got to do what you got to do,
Yeah.
and it's still all about team.
It is, man.
And
it's funny.
yeah, it is funny.
It's
because-
funny you said that too about that they had never seen black people.
Yeah, like a lot of people up in say like Michigan, in that
Yeah,
area,
yeah.
Saginaw, Michigan.
Yeah.
Where I met a guy from Saginaw, Michigan that was on my ship, and he said he really never saw too many blacks,
Yeah.
except from on TV.
Yeah, I had the same experience with
Yeah.
a friend in college. I went to her house and had dinner,
Mm-hmm.
and her mother was like, "You guys look like you have so much fun on TV when I see you." And the girl was like, she was going crazy. She's like,
Yeah.
"Mom, I can't believe you said that." But that was the reality, for
Right,
her,
and that's all she knows.
Right.
So
right.
at that point in time, that's when she, you need a class need to be in session.
Yeah.
So you need to sit her down and say, hey,
Right.
not all blacks,
Right.
Okay, we all on TV, but we are for real. We all
Right.
walks of life. Here.
Right.
Touch my skin.
Right.
I'm not a bad person.
Right.
I'm just a darker skin than you.
Right.
But we all human beings.
Yes.
Because a lot of people, they kind of ignorant to the fact.
Yeah.
And they might have been brought up a certain way, and it's time for it to change, man. Because I like to enlighten people.
Yeah, yeah.
Whether they don't know, or whether they don't care to know, or whether they just been brought up wrong.
Right.
Let them know things and talk to them, open them a book and say, this what black folk and
Right.
their contribution in your life. And a lot of
Right.
people might not know that.
That's true, man. But like you said, it's all about unity, man. That's really what it's about. And I think thank God he's out of office. But I think Trump did a lot of damage for unity, man.
He did, man.
I
He
really
did.
think that the country, is really a different place because of what it brought us backwards.
Yes, and that's something that we didn't need to do. But I think that what a lot of people started looking at and may not want to realize is that the black vote and the black voice is strong in America,
Yeah.
man.
Yes, it is.
And whenever we can, whenever we want to get up and do what we need to do,
Yeah.
we get it done.
Yeah, and we
And
mobilize.
that's the fear in a lot of our Caucasian counterparts. They want to think that black folk don't have a voice,
Yeah.
but we do.
Yeah.
It just a lot of times we get a little lazy and get complacent. But when we get out here and vote and do what we need to do, man, this whole country will be blue. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
look what happened.
Exactly.
We won the
So
election.
right. So basically, we are the majority, man, and we are the majority, and that's not a threat. That's not saying anything about blacks are better than whites, and it all goes back to what I just said: unity and coming together. Because we all here. Ain't nobody going nowhere.
That's right.
So this is the United States of America, right?
That's right.
So we got to do what we need to do for the good of all men.
Right. You know, and in this Black History Month, you know, I just want people to reflect on some things. You know, and if you never, you know, looked up before, like you said, just look up something. You know, just take 5 minute Google search and just see what you think. You know?
Right.
And just learn a little bit about the history of Black people, and you know.
Exactly.
I think that it will enlighten people and open your mind to different things.
That's right. And that's what we're here for. That's what this
Yes.
platform, that's what this podcast all about. Each one, teach one.
Yes.
And I'm here, and every week we trying to do one or two, Rich.
Yes.
And as long we can send a positive message to people, then I think we'd be fine.
Yes. Yeah.
You know. All right, buddy. You got anything else you want to say?
No, man. Just enjoy Black History Month.
Yeah, I enjoyed this too. You know, and it's always something to talk about. Once again, you guys, if you want to come on my show, just get in touch with me. You know how to get in touch with me, and we can sit down and put anything that you want to talk about on the air, and see what we can do.
All right.
Okay, as of now, this is Uncle Yab, and we're gabbing with Yab. Peace out.
Peace out.